it going? It's Kaz here and I'm back with another video, and today's video is on our first time home buyers series. I have two other videos already in a playlist on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't watched them already, please do. The first video is how we saved our deposit, and then the second video is the timeline of buying our first home. So if you haven't watched those already, please watch them first. Today's video is going to be on the total costs involved with buying our first home and any hidden costs that we weren't expecting. So before I go on, please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'm nearly at 140 subscribers, which is very exciting. And yeah, I'd love to see a few more of you joining our community. I often do cash stuffing videos, budgeting tips, and we're also doing this home buying series. So if you're interested, please subscribe. So basically, we started buying our first home in 2019. So obviously prices have changed since then, but these are the prices we had at that time, just to give you an idea of some of the costs that might be involved. A little backstory: the house that we ended up buying cost us 150,000. So that might seem like a smaller amount to some people, but we are in the Midlands. Prices are a bit lower here, and also in 2019 it was more of a buyer's market than it is currently. We had been looking for a house around 100,000 in the beginning, and we realised we needed to spend a bit more to get what we wanted. We bought a house that needed a bit of work doing to it, and so that's reflected in the price also. So yeah, we spent 150,000 on our house, and as the costs go, as I go through the costs, you'll see that reflected in the deposit amount and different costs involved there. So when we became sale agreed on our house, we had to pay a booking deposit, and the booking deposit that we were asked to pay was €5,000. So this is refundable. You can get this back if you pull out of the sale or if the sellers pull out. So yeah, that is the first cost involved. Now, I have heard it can be anything between 5,000 and 10,000 euro, and it's usually a reflection on the total cost. So yeah, we right off the bat paid 5,000 deposit to book the house. Then the next cost we had involved was a surveyor's report, and that cost €430.50. So this was the cost of getting a surveyor to go around and look at the house and make sure that everything was as described. There wasn't any major issues coming up, any big costs involved. Also checking planning issues and stuff like that. So yeah, we paid that then. Usually you'd also, if you were interested in doing extra work, you might have to pay for a builder to come around. Some builders do it for free in the hopes that you'll take them up on a quotation, and some of them do ask for a charge. But we were lucky enough to have a builder in the family, so we didn't have to pay anything for that. Next, we had to pay for a valuation on the house. So that's where another auctioneer comes to the house and gives the house a valuation. This is a charge that is anywhere between €100 and €300. We paid €130 for this. So this is required by the bank. The bank wants to make sure that the price you're paying on the house is a realistic market value price. So if you didn't pay your mortgage, they could get that money back. So yeah, it was €130 for that. Then you'd also have house insurance. I'm not going to give a figure on this because basically it changes for every house, and whether you get contents insurance or just house insurance. and you can decide whether to pay it all in one lump sum or monthly. So we went with monthly because we were just trying to keep every bit of extra cash for the sale, and we're hoping to pay it in one lump sum this year. And then you also have life assurance or payment protection, and there's many different options for that. So again, I'm not going to give a price on that. The thing I would note with life insurance or mortgage protection is the bank often insinuates that it's best to get it with them, but you don't have to. Our mortgage broker actually really pressed on us to just get it ourselves, and he was able to research all the different brokers for and different companies for life insurance, and he was able to get us a really good price, really good deal, and we were able to get what we wanted. Just like the house insurance, there's several tiers. You can get just the basic, where the rest of your mortgage is paid off if one of you is gone. Or you can get a step up where say you had a €200,000 mortgage and you had paid 100,000, then instead of just paying the 100,000 to pay off the mortgage, they would actually give you the full 200,000. Then there's also illness. So if one of you is seriously ill, they'll also pay out. There's lots of different options, so I basically don't want to give a price on that or what we picked, but just to give you a rough idea, there's lots of different options. They usually don't cost too much, but you just want to make sure you're getting the exact cover that you'd like. And the other thing I made sure is I went with a reputable company, because this is a long-term payment and it's quite a substantial payout if we need it. So to me it was very important that it wasn't a company that wasn't stable. Then the next thing we paid was the remaining deposit, which was €10,000. So we'd already paid 5,000. Our total house cost was 150,000, so we had to pay the remaining 10,000. So usually the deposit is about 10% of your total house cost. You can pay a larger deposit, and that just means then you are paying less mortgage. But in our position, we only had the 10,000 saved, so that's what we went with. Then the next thing that is due is your stamp duty. We paid the 1%, as it was our first time buying a house. So we paid 1% of 150,000, which was 1,500. So yeah, that's your stamp duty. Then the next thing that we had to pay was the local property tax. So depending on what time of year you buy, this could vary, and also depends on the valuation of the house. So we were advised that there was €90 left of local property tax due. We were paying in, we would have paid this in September, so it would have been for the remainder of the year. So it was €90 that we were due to pay. Then the next thing we had to pay for was land registration fees. So that was €600, and then we also had to pay for a certificate of change, which was €175. So then the next cost we had was our legal costs. So obviously this depends on the solicitors you are going with and their different costs involved. So we got given a breakdown from our solicitors of different costs involved. So we had legal costs. They obviously are checking to make sure that the house is exactly as it is described, and we're getting exactly what we're meant to be getting. The planning permission was gotten on all the house, the exact boundary, etc. of the house. So we're paying for all that, photocopying costs, all of that, stamps, etc. So yeah, our total legal cost was €2,186.50. So that includes all of that. We also got wills done. We got all of the paperwork sorted. We made sure that everything was looked after legally for that price. And then the last cost, which to me was probably the most valuable thing we did, was getting a mortgage broker. So our mortgage broker was the last cost we had to do, and that was €500, and it was worth every cent, honestly. So I will do another video on getting a mortgage broker. To us, it saved us probably thousands in the long run. So yeah, I'm going to do another video about a mortgage broker and what they can do for you and the difference they can make. So yeah, he cost €500. So our total cost for buying our first home, including the deposit, was €20,612. So 15,000 of that was the 10% deposit, and then the extra 5,612 was all the other costs involved. So I think it's really important. A lot of emphasis is put on saving for your deposit, but I think it's really important that you research all the other costs involved and make sure that you have saved for them too. The thing about buying a home that I wasn't prepared for is that each cost is just suddenly requested. So you could be asked to come in on a Monday and you were only talking to them last week, and you could be asked to come in anytime in the next 2 days, please, because you're delaying the sale to pay something. And yeah, that was kind of startling. So when we first met with solicitors, we were given a cost breakdown. Mortgage broker also gave us a cost breakdown, but the thing we weren't really expecting is just how suddenly these costs are suddenly requested. We were very eager to get into our house, and we were ringing and ringing looking to get into our house, and there was a lot of delays on the seller's side. But the thing we weren't expecting was the pressure that's put on you also as buyers to suddenly have the money in about 2 days. So yeah, also we were saving into our credit union, and sometimes that took a day or so to clear and go into the bank. So yeah, that's something to remember. I would still save in a credit union because it just meant that that money wasn't easy to touch, but it's just something to factor in. I wouldn't start the house buying process until you have a good chunk of that money put aside and you're pretty sure you're going to have it in time for all the different deadlines, because yeah, there's a lot of stress on you. And also the thing about buying a house in Ireland is that the seller or the buyer can pull out at any time, and nothing is guaranteed until you have the keys in your hand. And with such a hot market right now, if you were the one holding up the sale because you don't have the full say legal costs ready to pay the solicitor, then you mightn't get the keys in your hand. So just something to be aware of. It wasn't something I expected, the pressure. But yeah, that was our total costs involved. As I said, some of these costs may be more or less. There's different calculations you can do to kind of work out some house buying costs for you. There is different percentages that are thrown around out there, so do your research, make sure you know what is coming up. But like I said, so the main costs are deposit, both the booking deposit and then the rest of your deposit. There's also surveyor costs, builders costs, there's also land registration fees, certificates of change. There's also your house insurance and your life assurance. There's also your stamp duty and then your local property tax. So just make sure that you have a rough idea of all of those amounts, and just be prepared for having that either already saved or on the way. When we started buying our house, we didn't have all of that ready. We had a plan to have most of it saved in time, but we did have a large chunk. We had about half of that total cost saved. So just be aware of that when you're starting your house buying process. Yeah, so that's the total costs that we paid for buying our first home. I hope this video is helpful to you. Like I said before, different budgets and different houses cost different amounts, so just make sure you do your research. And yeah, we do feel incredibly lucky to have already bought our first home, but I really hope if you are about to go on this journey that you also get the house that you're looking for and get exactly what you want. I hope this video is helpful, and I will chat to you all very soon. Please drop me a like if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe. Chat to you later. Bye.